Welcome to Drew Abides. You can see where I'm standing on the banks of the mighty rolling Mississippi River. It's spring and you can see the thaw. Those of us who live in this area know that this comes once a year. Not always like this though. That's kind of like some friends of mine, good people that I know and I've met along the way. They don't come along often, and when you meet a good one, you hang with them. This week's episode is about one of those characters, Mike von Muchow, the producer of Liberty Gibbets Records and a true damn good friend for years, and a great musician to boot.
While I was in college and playing in bands to pay for college because I had no money, I got to know the local musicians there who were the big dogs in Minneapolis at the time, and I finally got into one of the studios. You know, I cleaned machines and I'd clean the desk up, and I got to work with, how it all started really was with a guy named Chopper Black. I mean, he was really the guy to go through as an engineer and a producer. I just started learning from him. You know, I learned about how he recorded, why he recorded. We were all hitting tape in the day. And then I went to other studios because people found out that I knew how to be, you know, kind of the side guy at, you know, setting up microphones and getting a good sound. And it just sort of all culminated with somebody calling me once and saying, we're having a problem with this album in Nashville. And, you know, they got big-time name producer in there, and he's messing stuff up, and, you know, we really love what you did. Just come down and help us. And I went down there, and I'm going to keep names out of this because this gentleman is well known, and this was a while ago. And he basically gave us the attitude as he walked out. He goes, well, you guys have just screwed yourselves. You'll never get anything out of it. And then a month later, it wins, Nashville Country New Music Award, and then it wins this, and then it wins that. So that really kind of annealed it in the beginning. So when people found out about that, they kept calling me and saying, could you come help? Through Dave, I just got introduced to Drew, and we became friends. And while we were friends, he said, yeah, the band wants to do an album. And I'm like, well, cool. One of their bass players dropped out. He said, you know, I just can't do this. I can't do the grind. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go play bass for you until you find another bass player. And I don't want to do it full, you know, I don't want to be your replacement. I'm just kind of a placeholder.
Sure.
So I came in and ripped it up with him. And he's more considered about what he does. He's a much better communicator with his music. He can be very, very specific now. And it wasn't that he couldn't communicate before, but now he can be very eloquent at explaining where he's at with the song so we can start working together. We can start talking, and within a few seconds now, he'll give me a few observations, I'll give him some. We link up, and away we go. And we don't need to, you know, chew it over and over again to figure out what the hell we're saying to one another. He becomes very specific now. Maybe years earlier when we worked together, he could give me a big picture, spend 5 or 6 minutes, you know, blocking out what the idea of the song is. And now he's very considered about it. I can tell he's thinking about it before he speaks to me. And then when he does, it has a very specific direction. So that's the good difference. Of course, you know, we run into problems where he'll physically feel he knows what he wants to do and he's got to stop. And I have to give him that breath. I have to be able to go, yep, we stop here. We wait till the next breath comes of your music. And that's okay. Because normally what happens by giving him that time, he gathers himself and then he gives it even more than he's got at that point. What his condition might have given him, the nuances that it gave him, the limitations maybe, have added to the strengths of what he's added to overcome those or work with them. So he wants people to see this is what you do with any problem. Whether you have Parkinson's, you're upset about something, you feel lost, there is a way to do this. You just have to use willpower to say, I do want to do this. I may not be able to do it the way I thought I was going to do it, but I may come up with a way that's even better, and I may learn something along the way. And I think that's the lesson he gave me. Because while we were working together, recording this time, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And suddenly, I felt much more akin to the way he thinks than I ever thought I would. So I feel a special kind of, like, karma did this to us together. And I'm like, okay, I get it. And I see so much more strength in him than I ever saw before.
Kind words from a true friend. You've met Mooch. He's one of the better folks I know around this place. It's great that he's planted his roots here in La Crosse, and we get to work with him and be friends with him. Thanks for watching Drew Abides this week. It's really windy out here on the mighty Mississippi River. We're going to come back to this spot in another month from now. It'll be beautiful and sunny, and I'll be wearing shorts and a t-shirt. So make sure you stick around for that. Tune in each week and click the subscribe button. We'll see you next week, folks.